What's up, yo? Coach here, and I'm coming to you with another Deadzone video. This is an important one because the FAQ for Deadzone version 2 has just come out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over it piece by piece. You know how I've done the other videos. We got to go. This is important stuff, man. We got to go over this. So I'm going to go over it, give you my opinions, tell you what I think about it. Let's just get right into it. All right, first things first. I printed it up here. I got all my notes on here. And also, we've been playing a lot of games and play testing, so the stuff that I'm going to go over, it's coming to you from experience, all right? And it makes sense because a lot of things that are in here are positive changes, some of them are negative changes, and some of them are in here for no reason at all, so we're going to get to it. Let's start. Okay, the first one says about shooting. Change: the shoot action cannot be taken if the active model is in the same cube as the enemy model unless otherwise specified. Okay, so basically, if you're in a cube and you're in combat, you can't shoot out of combat. It's always been like that, so, you know, that's really not a change. I think that's just a common sense thing, and they're just making it a little bit more clear. I don't know where that came up with. All right. The Rampage title. Okay, so basically, this made a lot of sense. Okay, let's say you have the Plague Stage 2. He's wounded, you will rampage, boom, 1 to 2, your opponent is in charge of your rampage. So what he's going to do is he's going to control your guy, he's going to move him into a cube and probably kill one of your guys. There's a cube next to him that he can reach for combat, but there are already 4 guys in it. Or let's say, you know, all the size 4 guys are in there. So let's say we have 4 Stage 3s in there. So there's no room for this Stage 2 to come in, because it'll be size 6. This rule is called being overstacked. Overstacked means that when you have rampage, you can enter that cube and you can beat the crap out of those guys that are in there. But when your reaction comes back, if you roll rampage again, and you know you don't roll a 1 or 2, and it just comes back, you're allowed to move your own guy. Then your first thing is you got to get out of that cube because there's just no room in that cube. So that makes a lot of sense. It cleared it up because it made sense that we had an aberration and he rolled rampage, so I was controlling the aberration, and I decided, let me go kill these zombies. There's 4 zombies standing right next to him, so I'll move in and do some damage on them. The thing was, there was 4 guys in there, so we were like, do I move in or don't I? So now with the overstack rule, it's good. So this is a positive thing. It's a clarification that makes a lot of sense. All right, the missions. Strike team points. For 100 points, it's 12. 150 is 16. 200, 250, 300 is 20 points. I don't know. We've been going by this all the time, so I just don't understand. You know, I guess that was a clarification. That might have been a bugaboo for some people. But we've been playing 200 for 20 points anyway, so that's where you got to be. And I'm the strongest professor of that. Deadzone is a great game. 100 points, you're just learning it. 150, maybe a tournament or something like that. But to really get in the crux of it, 20 victory points, 200 points, that's where it goes. That gives you enough room, wiggle room to put in some cool options, some this, some that, and it's a great game. And it doesn't take that long. It's taking us about anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour. And but it's fast paced. It goes. It's great. 200 points is the way to go. All right, let's go over the army list. Okay, page 16 and 17. Forge Father Huskarl, 2 Stubborn to Die ability. Change the roll. Roll a 3 dice, survive 2 with no modifiers, not even from command dice. Okay, this is my rule. This is the one I went to the rules committee. We had them on the live stream. I'll put a link to it right about here. And what I said to them was, I don't feel that this is fair. The rule is, it's not fair. Every other rule that the Mantic Splat that's there, every army special rule, you roll it, you get the splat. Oh, what I'm going to do is I am going to steal 1 of your dice if you're a marauder. Or even the enforcers. I'm going to take this dice and I'm going to tag you. Or I'm going to reduce your armor, your AP by 1 every splat. Everyone had a granted thing. This was the only rule that said, okay, you have a splat. Now you got to roll 3 more dice, but you got to get all 3 to, you know, save a wound. And I thought it was very unfair because you got to get 3 out of 3 for the save. It would have been a 4 out of 4 or maybe a 5 out of 5 if you had a militia for the Forge Father. So what they did was they changed it to a 3 dice survive 2 test as opposed to a 3 dice survive 3. So I'm very glad they changed it. With a 4 up, you got a better chance. No command dice, no extra, maybe exploding 8. So it's a better chance. Now, don't ask me. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know what the better rule would be, or like what's the percentage of that. But I guess getting 2 as opposed to 3 would be better. So we'll take it. All right. The Hellhound, add Beast, but it was already there. I don't know why that's there. Stage 3A rifle should be range 6 rapid fire. Okay, so now it's a rapid fire where you can fire for effect. Stage 3A rifle should be rapid fire. Okay, now this one, the next one, is a game changer, guys. All right, this is the one. So if you're not sitting down, sit down now. All right, stage 3Z, which is the zombies. Remove the tough ability and chain survive to 6. Now, they had tough and they had a 5 up save. So you're getting rid of tough and it's a 6+ save with vulnerable. They're still vulnerable. Now, they still have horde. Now, I got to tell you, when you get a bunch of these guys all gunked up and they're coming at you, they're really, really, really tough to deal with. This gives a little more leeway. Now, I like to think that I was running zombies with the plague, and they were awesome. You take 9, 10, 12 of them and move them up the board. That's why you got to do 200 points, because now the plague is so cheap, you just, you could really kid out everybody there. But you take a few of these now, they're a little bit more manageable. Okay, now they're not there. You take 10 or 12 of these guys, they're moving up the board. Your opponent has one of 2 options. You either let them go and I'll figure it out later, or you got to deal with them. Okay? So, that's pretty good. You still got to deal with them. They're perfect cannon fodder. They have 0 points, and they have 6 points apiece. One of the best units in the game, bar none. In my opinion, one of the best units in the game. And like I said, I've played a bunch of games with them, and they're tough. They're tough. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. The Plague Swarm, add the Beast ability, which is new. Okay, you're gonna add that to him. Plague Strider in the campaign option should be ranged in melee or melee. How do you say it? Melee or melee? Comment below. I'm curious. I guess melee. That's how we say it in New York. All right. The Enforcer Strider, remove Scout. Oh, having a Strider and moving him up. Getting a free sprint ability before the game ends, before the game begins is great. And add the vehicle ability. All right, well, we thought they were always vehicles because they were listed on the vehicle anyway, but you took away Scout, so basically the Enforcer Strider doesn't have anything. But I'll be honest with you, the change from the Genling 88 to not being long reload makes it fantastic, so I'm not going to complain about that. All right, the Dog Drone. He already had a burst laser. The only thing is they didn't add in the range, which is range 8. But, guys, honestly, you look in the back of the book, you see the burst laser has a range 8, and you just use it. So it wasn't a big deal. I guess they're just trying to tidy up everything. Okay, Dog Drone. Add Construct and Beast abilities. Nice. Construct. Can't be pinned. Can't be pinned. Awesome. Jet Bike. Comes with your double-barreled laser rifle. New range 6, way to fire. All right, so listen, we all know that the Enforcer double-barrel laser rifle, it says in the back, says it's range 6, so we're good to go. Now, here's where it gets really, really, really awesome. The Jet Bike weapons options, heavy automatic and light explosives. So basically, you can take a host of weapons. You can take a burst laser, you can take a missile launcher, you can take all that cool stuff. I love it because everybody was saying that the options that it came with in the Kickstarter, if you got your Enforcer Jet Bike, it came with a bunch of different guns that you could put on the bottom. It was the burst laser, the missile launcher, and the just the regular laser rifle, and you switch them out. So we were like, what were we going to do? Oh, it's probably a Warpath thing. But now it's cool. You get to add some stuff. You're going to add some points, maybe some victory points, but you could really make stuff happen. Those jet bikes, jetting around and stuff is really, really cool. All right, let's move. We're going to move on to the Veerman, the Malingus with chem thrower. Okay, basically, check it out. Okay, so he's basically just got a ray gun, range 4, weight of fire 1, rapid fire. Okay, straight up Malingus there. Went from 18 to 14 points. But now they can take all light weapons. So if you get in the book, you check it out. They can take a bunch of different things. So you can give him the chem thrower. You can give him a ray gun or a ray rifle or whatever. You can give him a bunch of different things, which is cool. So he's like a special weaponist. They can take whatever they want. So now what I got to do is I was building them up and everything, and I had them going. I have about 3 Malingus, but now I got to rip some arms off and give them the other options. But that's okay. That's the way the game is. If you can't rip arms off of models, then I don't know what kind of model you are. So sometimes you got to do that. You got to rip the arms off. Night Terror with the spitter and the sights, they got the beast ability. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. The weapons option, big drill changed from light melee to heavy melee. Okay, was good already, so that's okay. The Steel Warriors. Okay, so now the weapon options are small arms, light, automatic, explosive, assault, heavy, automatic, and assault. So basically, you can take almost anything, all right? That's great because if you got the Steel Warriors in the Kickstarter, and you're going to do the Storm Rage Veterans with them, or you're going to make them the Steel Warrior Specialist, they have a lot of options you can take. So that's nice. You know, you're going against maybe somebody with some high armor guys. You want to take a missile launcher for AP. You know, just do that, and it's a little cheaper than the Forge Guard. Although I would rather take the Forge Guard because for a few more points, he's a little bit more durable. But if you're going to run a ton of Steel Warriors, that's okay too. All right, that's an option. That's a fun build to play, and you're starting to kit out the Forge Fathers. We could talk Forge Fathers all day, but let's keep going on. The Boombot and the Inferno Drill got a construct ability, so that's good because, you know, they shouldn't be able to get pinned or whatever, you know, because they're not actually real stuff going on there. All right, 76. This is with the Asterians. Add a asterisk or a star to the no pistol. I guess that's the thing that can't be replaced, so you can't replace the stock weapon, which makes sense. All right, let's go to the Marauders. The gun track weapon option should be vehicle all. Of course it should be. Of course it should be. Okay, that's their vehicle. That's what it is. So you should take all the stuff, not just the stun bot, but the gun track should be able to take something and make it a little bit more viable option to take. Okay, the Ripper Rainmaker suit, which is it's a pain in the butt to deal with. The Rocket Salvo is going to be changed to Rocket Salvo Range 8 Indirect 3, which already is, but it's only one use, which is, if you're a Marauder player, that's tough, but it's better because you know you get caught out in the open and you know you get stuck with that. It's tough. So that's only one use. So that's a little nerf to it, but you know, use it first. Get rid of it first. All right. Page 82. The HEW cannon should be now vehicle in parentheses Lance / Hulk. So basically, the Hulk can take it, or your Stunbot can take it. Okay. The Rebel Grogan, the rifle should be range 6. I think some of these things, they just forgot the rifles in there. But guys, you know, I'm going to say it again. You look in the weapons section and take it from there. All right. The Craw option should be small arms, light, assault, and melee. Yes. The Craw is supposed to be a combat monster. Now you can take all the combat weapons, and you can take all light assault weapons and small arms. The only thing I don't like is it doesn't come with anything stock. So you got to buy the Craw, and then you got to buy the weapons. Make him. I guess you can make him a fighting one or a shooting one, but yeah, they messed up the Craw. The Craw was actually better in version 1, in my opinion. All right. The Rebel Strider campaign ability should be ranged and melee. All right. Here's a good one. The Rebs. Onslaught cannons change from 1 victory point to 0. But then the Desolators change from 1 to 0. So the Onslaught cannons got a higher AP. That's why I guess the VP is 1. And then the Desolator is more of the weight of fire. I'm sorry, not weight of fire, but weight of bullets coming at you. So it goes to 1. And Boomer, the Merc, he should be Boom 3. So that concludes our army list changes. So we're going to next move on to the FAQ questions that people have asked. Okay, let's do this. This is the general questions of the FAQ. All right, we're going to try to go through these quick, and the common sense ones I'll just kind of breeze over, but we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the important ones. All right, number 1, can a shoot command dice result be used with a model carrying a heavy weapon? Yes, of course it can. That's the whole point of command dice. You can use your sniper, get him wherever you want, or heavy weapon, get him wherever you want, use a sprint action, and then fire with that weapon. All right. If a pin model is thrown, example by blast weapon, into a cube containing an enemy model, what happens? All right, this is a long one. I'm going to break it down for you. The guy is blown by a blast weapon into another cube. There's an enemy in there. Fight automatically ensues. All right, so that's good. So the mechanic hasn't changed for that. The model that was moved into the cube gets a +1 for moving into the cube, but the other model that was already in the cube gets a +1 for pin. The model is pinned. If there's another guy in the cube, you get a +1 for a friend and whatnot. So everything's the same. If he gets blasted into that cube, you're basically going to start the fight. So, you know, that's pretty easy. What counts as a hit or miss? For example, attacks with blast weapons. All right, so now this is going to come into contact when we talk about knockback. But the dice mechanic is going to be the same. Number 1, I'm fighting my opponent. I roll 3 successes. My opponent rolls 1 success. Okay, so he rolls 1 success. What's going to happen is that I've won on the dice. I've won 3-1. Now, let's say the attack goes through. He has armor and tough, so he negates 2 attacks. The thing is that it works for the blast weapon, or works for being pinned, or works for knockback because I won the dice. And that's the best way I can explain it. So if you win by 1, and 1 potential damage goes through, not being negated by armor, not being negated by tough, not being negated by an energy shield. If 1 goes through, then you've won, and then you could do it as far as the effects of it. So that's where it comes down to. So just remember that for the game. That's huge. That's huge. So it comes down to the dice. Okay? It comes down to the dice. You got to get at least 1 potential damage through to make it happen. All right. When resolving blast, where is directly away from the target model? Come on, guys. Models here, you draw a straight line, and that's the direction you're going. If he's here and here, draw a straight line, he's going there. That's directly away. Okay? It just makes sense. All right? How do I resolve an attack with a weapon that has frag but does not have grenade? Unlike a grenade, weapons such as the Enforcer's Fusion Gun, range 4, heavy frag 3, does not need to roll to hit the target cube. Simply roll once for the strength of the frag. Then each model in the target cube roll survive separately as described on page 29. So basically you're going to shoot as a gun. You're going to hit, you don't hit the target cube, you hit the let's say you hit the model, and then the grenade hits the model and blows up with the guy there, and everybody around them's got to take damage. Okay, that's good. So basically you shoot the hit and then you blow it up. But that's what it was like with the Crow had the wrist blaster and stuff like that. So instead of throwing a grenade, you're shooting something at the cube. It hits in the cube and then explodes. Makes perfect sense now. Okay, does psychic model using a psychic attack get a +1 modifier for being on a higher level? Hell yeah, of course. You move up because psychic attacks are considered shooting attacks. Therefore, you're going to shoot. You get the +1 for being up there, for being smart. Can a model with the vehicle ability be pinned? Yes. What? So you're telling me that a Strider can get pinned? Okay, I'm going to check the book right now. Let's look at the Strider. Okay, now that they have the vehicle ability. Okay, they do have the vehicle ability, but Strider has vehicle, not construct, so they can be pinned. I don't know about that. You know, you're shooting at it. Basically, a burst laser can down something that's not a construct. Or the jet bikes, you know, the jet bikes can be pinned because they're not constructs. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't think that's a good rule. I think they need to reevaluate that rule. All right, let's go over. Should an Enforcer Captain have a wrist blade or an energy gauntlet as standard? Energy gauntlet, that's what he comes with. Okay, so now if you model him up and you want to take a wrist blade, you got to pay for it. All right, number 8A. Can a Ridden Nomad take both the sniper rifle and pistols? The picture suggests it can, and the model does come with those options. No. So now if you're going to do the Ridden Nomad, okay, the model is assembled with a sniper rifle and pistols. It counts as the mercenary Hund. So if you give him the sniper rifle and the 2 guns, because he has the fire control where you can fire at 2 things using both weapons. That is the bounty hunter. But if you just want to do a regular rebs, then you have to model it differently. Okay, so one is the Rin and the other one is the mercenary. Number 9. Do I apply knockback to an attack where the defender draws or wins the test, as I would do with suppression? No. Apply knockback only when it causes potential damage. Remember we went over that before. Potential damage is basically, the dice. So potential damage not negated by tough and armor and whatnot. Okay. Can you please clarify the placement rules for the effects of knockback? All right, this is a long one. I'm going to get it. All right, so here we go. We did the potential damage. All right, I don't got to go through that again. I get 1 or 2 dice. Okay. Knockback is very cool. I have my knockback weapon, which can be anything, energy gauntlet or fusion gauntlet, whatever it is. I punch the guy. I'm in melee. I'm working my combat so that I want to hit him, and I'm going to push him off the building. I'm going to push him into the wall. Or I'm going to push him. I'm going to knock him back into that cube with a combat monster, and then he's going to get the fight. So there's a lot of things you can do. So I like that. So you hit him with a certain attack, and you can move him somewhere. And that's because you are a combat monster. You're using that, so that's good. I like that a lot. I want to replace the model's weapon. Will I subtract the cost from former weapons before adding the cost of the new weapon? No. This is like, say he's got a pistol. That's his sidearm. Okay, you could always use it, but you're gonna take it. You pay for it. You can't do it. I'm not sure. I mean, comment below if you know, but I don't know of any war game that makes you like deduct the point and add the point. That's just way too much bookkeeping. They come standard and then you add to it. That's the way it is. Does the Piper command ability require command dice to use? Yes, of course it does. Can I give the monowheel scout bike to any model that has the ability to carry items? Yes, that is awesome. Guys, listen up. Put a Peacekeeper on a monowheel. I know Rob from the Deadzone podcast said that. He mentioned that to me, and I was like, I'm never going to use that model. Because, I'm putting a Peacekeeper on it. So never said you couldn't. So there you go. You put a Peacekeeper on it. Put whatever you want on it. You can put a regular Enforcer on it. You don't have to put the Pathfinders on it, even though they came with the Pathfinder. So that's cool. That's really cool. Can a Pathfinder tag a model and then shoot it? Of course it can. You have short action, tag it, and then shoot it again. Or you can move, tag it, and then use a command dice to shoot it. So there's lots of possibilities. You got to think of combinations. Combinations is the name of Deadzone, the name of the game here. Which of the infestation characters are mercs? All right, I'm going to go over this. Right about here, I'm going to give you the link to the infestation book. All right, this one. Okay, in this book, you have the elite lists. Okay, in the elite lists, you take a merc, and he will run your elite list. Now, here's the fun part. Okay, when you run a regular list from the basic rule book, you take a merc and you can add him to it. With the elite list, you take the merc and he leads it. So let's say the forward observer. He doesn't work for anyone else but the enforcers. So he's going to lead the enforcers, lead force, and they'd uncover certain things. When you run, I say to my opponent, I'm running an elite list. That's why this guy's in charge. I'm running a Nemrath. I'm running the Piper. I'm running Adrian Nikolovsky. They're going to be the leaders of my thing, so your opponent knows it's an elite list. You get certain pluses and minuses to it. You check certain equipment that you might not have access to. So they are the leader of that thing. If you run a regular group where I'm running, let's say, my Peacekeeper captain, I want to take forward observer. He is the merc. You don't use his abilities or his tactician. Very simple. Okay, should the Piper have the tactician ability? No. His command ability is very strong, and the Piper himself is not a charismatic leader. Same thing with Bjorn Starnfeld. His ability is so strong, he has no tactician. So he is a leader, but you get no extra dice for tactician, so you're only rolling 3. All right. Should the long-range observer have an energy gauntlet? Yes. See the errata section. They did errata for the infestation book, and basically he is modeled with it, and he's there. Well, he should have it. I'll show you why. I was debating this. I was arguing this, and I'm glad they did it. Okay. His stats are 463. Tactician 1, he's got the laser rifle, which is rapid fire, and he's got a grenade launcher, which is range 5, indirect 3, which is kind of cool. Recon 3, he has a special ability, Tactician 1. But the thing is, he's 34 points and 5 victory points. I think he owes it to himself to have an energy gauntlet because he's so expensive, as far as that's concerned. All right, what happens when I replace an existing weapon with 2 fire modes, such as Astarion's Charge Glove or the Creeper's Det Packs? Okay, before you shoot, or before you use it, you say, I'm using this one. and you use it. Very simple, very simple. Okay. What is the leader option in the weapons category? All right, so far I've seen one leader option was with the Veerman, and the Veerman progenitor has a sniper rifle. This, I think, they put in the basic rule book, knowing that down the road they're going to add specific weapons and stuff for leaders in general. Okay, so this is, right now it's not in there, but I think with supplements and things that come out, they're going to have more and more of them. Okay, what is the weapon category heavy? Is the weapon category heavy the same as the weapon ability heavy? No, I think this is they kind of screwed up on this. The heavy ability means that it takes a long action to move. You can't move and shoot unless you use command dice. The heavy is like it's a heavy weapon, but there are heavy weapons that are not long actions to shoot. So that's, I could see the confusion. I mean, they cleared it up here, but it is like a point of contention there. All right. What happens if a model or a grenade would scatter off the board? All right. Around the dead zone board, it's supposed to be a tall wall there. So if you get blasted into it or you bounce things, it bounces off, comes back. That's it. So you just treat it as if there's a wall there. It's an invisible wall. I mean, if you play the game and you want to put a wall around it, you can. Logistically, it'd be bad. It'd be hard to maneuver models. The only thing is if there's an indirect weapon and it's here, but it scatters off and it goes off the board, it goes over that wall. So you don't have to worry about it there. All right. A model begins its activation when an enemy in the cube. It initiates a fight action long, killing the other model. Then I use a move dice to move into a cube containing an enemy model. Does this initiate a new fight action even though I have used a fight action already? Of course it does, because that's the rules. So you move into the cube and do it. This is like nerfed daisy chaining that we used to do before. The chaining was, you know, kill, move, kill, move, kill, move, kill, move. Now it's like if you kill the guy, use a move action, move into that one to get him. He's got to be in the cube next to you because you can only move. The command dice only gives you one movement, but that's okay. Can a model change levels with a sprint action? Yes. All right. So if you sprint 2, you move up 2. Sprint 3, you move up 3. Sprint 1, you move up 1. Okay. That's it. In the other one, in version 1, we had climb ability. Now it's a movement thing. So you're moving up, you're moving vertically, horizontally. It doesn't matter. Okay. I start the model's activation with an enemy in the same cube. I use my first action to move out of the cube. Can the model take a shoot action? Yes. Okay. The model should check to see if there's same cube as an enemy model at the same time it wishes to take an action. Now at the start of its activation, see the errata. Okay. So basically, you move out of the cube, turn around, you shoot the guy, you do whatever you want, all right? It's in the rules. It's pretty clear there. For the Rebels commanders, always short ability, is there a limit to the number of new items that can be created with this ability? Okay. I can't stand these rules that do this, but anyway, it's in there. Basically, you put out all your tokens. You have a bunch of tokens on the side that are not being used. You pick from that. If you use the ability so much that there are no more items, then the ability is not being used anymore. I don't think you'll ever run out of tokens because there's plenty there. So, you know, that's it. You pick from the unused pile, not from the discarded pile that has been used already. When determining the random item, is this from any of the possible dropped items or those not being deployed at the beginning of the game? No, you go to the pile that wasn't used. What happens if you activate a toxic smoke screen in a cube that has a wounded model in it? Since they now have vulnerable special rule, do they die immediately or would they suffer further wound? Okay. They have a wound, you drop the toxic smoke screen, one more wound kills them. Let's say you have the aberration in there who's got 5 wounds. Okay? He's already injured. You drop a toxic smoke screen in them, you happen to get a nice, you get a slice on him, you hurt him, you kill him. You're going to kill him because he's vulnerable. It's only one thing. So you move in there. You're vulnerable at that point. No matter what wound you bring with you already, it doesn't matter because once you're vulnerable, you get hit, you're dead. I am unable to place my strike team in my deployment zone due to cube side limits. What should I do? All right, they come up with a bunch of things. They're saying like 250, 300 points. Dudes, you playing 200 points, you got a lot of models. You got to figure out something. They give you 3 options here. I'm going to go through them. Number 1, you move the terrain into there with different levels, and then you can deploy your guys. So on one cube, you can go 4, 4, and 4. That's awesome. All right, I don't like that. I'm going to move the terrain here. I am going to deploy my missile launcher, my heavy guys, all the stuff that can't shoot, and gets a +1 for being elevated. That is not an option, guys. Once the terrain's set up, That's the way I feel. Okay, so the next one is to start off the board. and you can move or sprint to get on the board. I think that's terrible. You're basically wasting movement to be off the board. So because you have a larger strike force, you're getting a negative for it. I don't like that either. Models need to come in before round 2, etc. So if you're in a tournament and the guys are off the board, you want to deny them killing your leader. You keep them off the board, and then they get on the board there. So I don't like that. Here's my solution. Very simple. I have too many guys on the board. I need 2 extra cubes. I tell my opponent. My opponent goes, okay, no problem. I'm going to take 2 extra cubes too. Now, maybe he is deployed in the right place, but if you add 2 extra cubes, he can move his guys and be a little bit more diverse in his deployment. End of discussion. Simple, simple, simple. How many cubes do you need? I need 4 cubes. Okay, good. Well, I'm going to move the cubes here, and I'm going to move my guys, spread them out, or whatever. 27. I've taken 3 troopers. Does this give me access to 1 vehicle or 3 specialists, or 1 vehicle and 3 specialists? So basically, guys, when you set up the chart, you take 3 troops. That gives you ability to take 3 specialists, also 1 vehicle. If you take 6 troops, you could take 6 specialists and 2 vehicles. If you take 9, and so on and so forth. You get it? So it's not one or the other. You could get both. Okay? It's the troop tax. 28. Does the monorail sky bike change the size of the miniature we're using it? No. So basically you're sitting on the bike, but as far as logistics are concerned, you're still a size 1 or a size 2 or size 3, whatever is riding the bike. Are Burma's grenades 1 use? No. He's got as many as he wants, so you can throw as many grenades as you want, as many times as you want, as long as it refers to the rules. Hammer Fist drop armor. When called into place, the Hammer Fist model in any empty cube on the table is empty, referring to model's friend or foe, referring to terrain or debris. Guys, of course, there's no model in the cube. There could be debris in the cube because the whole board is full of debris. What is the item count for loot tokens in Deadzone V2? Okay, I understand this because I have the resin counters and certain things are missing. So you have 5 ammo, 3 frag grenades, 2 AP ammo, 2 intel, 2 medkit, 1 stun, 1 booby trap. Okay, if you got the starter set or the Kickstarter, it comes with the little cardboard things you pop out. Number 32. When and how do I check for victory conditions? All right. In version 1, when you hit your victory mark, you all of a sudden claim victory. This is better, I think. At the end of the round, you use the following steps, okay? Check to see who's winning. So at the end of the round, I say, oh, I got 20 points. How many you got? I got 19. I win. At the end of the round, if both players are tied, you can do one of 2 things. I think it's like a sudden death. So basically, the next guy to score a point wins. Okay? If neither has won, the player loses. If neither player, but the other player has no models left on the table. So basically, if you table the guy. So if it's tied, if you both have 20 or whatever your VPs are, then you say, all right, we're in sudden death mode. Whoever gets the first point wins. So it's gonna be a frenzy to kill the models, unless you table the guy. If you table the guy, you automatically win because there's nothing left on the table. All right. Well, basically that's it. The rest are some campaign questions. We're not going to cover that because we're just going to the basic FAQs. A lot of this is just clarifications. The changes to the hue beamer, the zombies and stuff like that. It was good. The zombies are a little bit more manageable now, I think. As far as the other questions and stuff like that is good. The whole thing with the knockback and the potential damage is good. So this is a good clear up. I think it's probably going to be, we're going to play this and we're going to see that or more questions arise. So they'll probably need another FAQ. But there's nothing wrong with this. The only thing is that we got the nice new book and you got to keep this with you because of the different rules that came in and whatnot. But all in all, it's not a bad thing. This is a step in the right direction because they listen to the community and they answer the questions. So we're going to be doing some battle reports and some breakdowns and things like that, and we're going to institute the FAQ into that. So just stay tuned for that. So guys, thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate this. Hit me with comments below. Hit me up on Facebook, the Twitter, all that good stuff because I like the discussion. Just debating Deadzone and not arguing about it, but trying to figure out how to make this game better. So I really like that. I'm very excited to play this game, as you guys can tell by all the content that we've been putting out at Family Gamers. So guys, thanks for sticking with me. Like, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.